So to kick off the advanced section of our Rest Assured course, we're going to start looking at how we can use Groovy GPath for JSON and XML to extract exactly what data we want from our response. So far we've seen how to extract quite simple things like in this example just the count or the first team name, but now we're going to look at how we can actually extract exact data. To do this we write Groovy GPath expressions. Now I'll add a link in the resources where you can read more about Groovy and GPath. I'm not going to cover it in this course as it goes into too much depth, but I will give examples that hopefully you'll be able to use in your Rest Assured codes without having to use GPath so much. You should just be able to follow along with the examples and get the gist of it. So let's jump right in. We're going to be using the football data API again for the next few tests. So what I'm going to do in our code base is I'm going to create a new class, and just before that I'm going to actually just change the default request spec over to the football request spec so that we don't have to change it each time. So I'm just going to change that here, and I'm going to make a new class for these tests, and we'll call it GPath JSON tests for now. That's fine. Let's create that class and we'll import the Rest Assured. As IO, if I could remember it, that's good. That's Rest Assured star. And we'll just extend this class. Extend that class of our test config class here. Okay, so that's us ready to set up, and now we're ready to start writing tests. So what I want to do now, if I go back to Postman quickly, is when I call this API, I want to extract all of the data in a key value pair for a certain team. So let's take Southampton FC, for example. So what I want Rest Assured to do is extract this ID, name, short name, etc., everything into a map of key values for this team. So let me show you what I mean. Let's have a look. Let's take up our Rest Assured code and let's add a test, and we'll call it public void extract map of elements with find, because we're going to be using a find in GPath. So what we'll do first of all is that we'll just take our response, so we're going to use the Rest Assured response class, and we're just going to do a basic get, and we just specify the endpoint that we've already set it up in the config to have the base path and the base URI, so we just need to put in the endpoint. If we go to Postman, we can see that the endpoint is this part here. So let's copy that over. Just zoom this in here so that's a bit bigger. There we go. So now we'll specify a map, and the keys will always be strings, and the values, we're not sure what the value will be. It can either be integers or strings. So if you can see here, this is an integer, this is a string. So we'll just specify a question mark here because we're not sure what the value will be. It will vary. We'll call it all team data for single team, let's say. And then we take our response from up here, and then we use Rest Assured's path method. And then in the brackets here we can write our actual GPath expression. So here the expression would be teams. So look at the teams node, all of the teams nodes, and then perform, this is a Groovy find on those, and then we specify the find that we want to do. So we take the it special keyword, and then for each value in it we look for its name, which in this case we want to look for is Leicester City. Let me just put this on a new line so it's a little bit clearer. I'll put a new line just in there. We'll type in the team's name. to write it in quotation marks, in a single quote mark there. Spell Leicester, Leicester City FC. Close that. Then we close off the GPath expression. There, and done. So what this is doing again, let me just explain. This is taking the team, rest assured is looking at all of the team's nodes. So it's looking at here, this team's class, and then it's taking each element. You see each element in this array is a different object. So first of all, it's taking each one of those and putting them into an array. We go back to the code. And then it's saying for each one, do a find and look into each one, into each value in the array, and look for their name. So again, it's going through each one and looking for the name until it finds the name Leicester City FC. Once then it finds that name, it will extract everything into here for us. Hopefully that makes sense. So let's just print, we can just print out the results. Sorry, a couple of small mistakes are made here. This should be a double equals because we're not doing an assign. We're actually looking for a value, and there's too much white space in there, so I'll take that out. Let me just rerun that test again. I also got the wrong curly bracket at the end, so you need to be very careful when writing these tests. So that should be okay now. I'll just add a space in there so that's a bit clearer. Let me try it again. And this time it passes. So when the test runs, it calls this endpoint again, and then it does the find using the expression, the GPath expression that we've specified. And then you can see that it's grabbed key values of everything for Leicester City FC. So the name of the team, the ID, the short name, etc. So it's grabbed all of this data for us from calling that endpoint. So hopefully you can see the power there of rest assured. In the next video, we'll start looking at some more examples of how we can use GPath JSON in rest assured.